drone, fighter, jet, and helicopter all in one. In an era where global superpowers strive for greater dominance, every military resource must be capable of serving virtually any mission. That's why traditional helicopters are being replaced by the more advanced tilt-rotor aircraft, which represent the future of American VTOL vertical takeoff and landing helicopters. These aircraft have superior VTOL agility, fly faster and further than traditional helicopters, and are critical for military operations. To understand the importance of TOL and tilt rotors, it is important to know how it works. VTOL stands for vertical takeoff and landing, and, as the name suggests, refers to aircraft that can take off, hover, and land vertically. The helicopter, Harrier, Jump Jet, and F-35 Lightning II are some of the best-known examples, and they all achieve TOL somewhat similarly. The task is to aim thrust downwards and take off from the reaction of an upward push for the helicopter. Its spinning blades create thrust like a large propeller, and this thrust is directed vertically to move forward. The helicopter tilts slightly to direct some of its thrust forward, albeit slowly and inefficiently. For the Harrier, the aircraft uses a giant single engine with 4 thrust vectoring nozzles that can all aim thrust downwards during liftoff. Once liftoff is achieved, they are re-angled for forward flight where the jet flies like, well, a jet. It's a similar case with the F-35B, except that the F-35B features one thrust factory nozzle instead, supported by a fan under the cockpit, which also provides thrust downwards. Once liftoff is achieved, the setup is reconfigured for the agility of a fighter jet. There are key takeaways here. The helicopter's spinning blades remain the most efficient and quickest TOL setup, while the jet setup is the more agile in flight with much to gain from both setups. Tilt rotors combine both by featuring the spinning blades of a helicopter and engines that provide forward thrust while in flight. This is best understood by taking a look at the world's first production tilt rotor, the Bell Boeing V-22 Osprey, with one 3-bladed prop rotor, turboprop engine, and transmission nozzle mounted on each wingtip. That Bell Boeing V-22 Osprey is a half helicopter, half jet. Its default takeoff configuration is similar to the helicopters, being more hassle-free during takeoff. The aircraft has its notch shells vertical and rotors horizontal. Once airborne, the nozzles rotate forward 90 degrees in as little as 12 seconds for a horizontal flight, converting the Osprey to a more fuel-efficient, higher-speed fixed-wing aircraft. Most missions use fixed-wing flights 75% or more of the time, reducing wear and tear and operational costs, while allowing for a longer-range line-of-sight communications for improved command and control, as helicopters do not have this option. The Osprey would begin to steal roles and missions from its yet-to-be-retired predecessors, particularly the Black Hawk medium-lift helicopter. In addition to that edge, the V-22 Osprey is simply a better machine. It is over 170% faster, with a top speed of 316 miles per hour compared to the Hawk's 183. The Osprey also comes with a significantly greater max range of 2,560 miles compared to the Hawk's 1,380 miles, and flies as high as 25,000 feet. While the Hawk is limited to a 19,000-foot service ceiling for a lighter weight, composite materials make up the Osprey's proper rotor blades and 43% of its airframe. However, the Osprey isn't all peaches and roses. For one, it cannot actually hover on one engine in the case of an engine failure. Also, if a proper rotor gearbox fails, that prop rotor cannot be feathered and both engines must be stopped before an emergency landing. Then there are the auto-rotation characteristics due to the rotor's low inertia. To top it off, the engines produce so much heat that if installed on a ship, they could destroy the ship's flight deck and coating. These made clear the need for a new top-of-the-line tilt rotor for the U.S. military, one that would provide answers to the limitations of its predecessors. One that is known as the Bell V-80 Valor. The Bell Vault 2 at Valor is a tilt rotor under development by Bell Textron in partnership with Lockheed Martin and a host of other reputable companies, including Lockheed Martin, Moog, Inc., GE Aviation, GC and Spirit Aerosystems Eaton Corporation, Astronomers Advanced Electric Systems, Israel Aerospace Industries, and Textron sister company, TRU Simulation and Training. This all-star team became a necessity because the V-280 was up against other contenders in the U.S. Army's Joint Multi-Role Program. In 2013, the Army awarded technology investment agreements to Bell Avionics Aircraft, Karam Aircraft, and a Sikorsky Boeing team to develop the technologies and interface that would be integrated into the tilt rotor prototype. Each of these 4 teams received $6.5 million from the Army for Phase 1 of the program. However, with Bell, the developer of the V-22 Osprey, once again up against Sikorsky, the developer of the Black Hawk helicopter, this competition would heat up pretty quickly and compelled Bell to invest an undisclosed amount of its own money. In 2014, both of these teams would be chosen to continue to Phase 2 of the program, where the V-280 from the Bell team and the CB-12 fired from the Sikorsky Boeing team would attempt to have a one-up over each other, providing a tilt rotor that's focused on the infantry squad and could handle much like a helicopter in terms of low-speed agility to have an unprecedented pitch roll. In your response to those operations, the V-280 was designed to achieve these and to push the limits even further by traveling twice as fast and twice as far as the current medium-lift helicopters in its size range. This translates to a cruising speed of 320 miles per hour or 280 knots. Hence the name VE, a maximum range of 2,400 miles and an effective combat range of up to 920 miles. These capabilities will prove all too vital, particularly for movement over vast areas like the Pacific. And according to the program director, one forward operating base of these aircraft could protect an entire country as an upgrade from the V-22 Osprey. The engines in the Vault 280 remain in place while the rotors and drive shafts tilt. A drive shaft runs through the straight wing, allowing both prop rotors to be driven by a single engine in the event of engine loss. The Vault 280 will have retractable landing gear, a triple redundant fly-by-wire control system, and a VTOL configuration. The VTOL structure and renovators made by GCN will provide high levels of maneuverability and control to the airframe. It will be made of a combination of metals and composites. The wings are also made of composites to reduce weight and production costs. In conclusion, tilt rotors combine helicopter and jet capabilities for superior VTOL agility, speed, and range, making them critical for military operations.